Coordination Compounds Lecture 3. Topic IUPAC Nomenclature. Hi, hello, welcome to Acharya Learning Academy. Students, in the previous video, we discussed Werner's theory and the types of ligands from the chapter Coordination Compounds. I hope you have gone through that lecture because it provides the foundation for the today's topic. Yes, in this video, we will learn IUPAC nomenclature of coordination compounds. Along with some easy tricks also I'm going to teach, where some shortcuts are there, where I'm going to teach those tricks to name coordination compounds so quickly and accurately. Yes, in last class, in the video what I uploaded before, I explained about ligands, right? Their different types and why they are important in IUPAC nomenclature. Today, you will be going to see the application based that how we are going to apply that ligands in naming the coordination compounds. And by the end of to name the IUPAC, the first thing I will be taking in terms of two cases. The one says case 1 and the other one says case 2. In case 1, I will be taking my complex compound, that is the coordination compound, as the positive and simple compound with anion, that is called your negative side. Where I will be taking one example called CrH2O twice Cl2 Cl. In case 2, I will be taking my coordination compound, that is called your IUPAC for this simple compound and complex compound. In complex compound, I am taking at left hand side, I am taking the simple compound with the K2. And here I'll be taking as FeCN6. So this is the major difference, like this is plus and this is minus, and here this will be your plus and this will be your minus. So the naming, the trick how to name, I'm going to tell about that. So first one, chromium. Cr stands for what, man? Chromium, right? And here H2O stands for, already I have given the namings in the types of ligands like anionic ligands and neutral ligands. So based on that, H2O means aqua, because H2O is a neutral ligand, right? So based on that, H2O says aqua. And here 2 stands for di. If 3 is there, tri. 4 is there, tetra. And one important thing here is that just observe that this is a Cl. This is something like unidentate ligand. If at all, if you are having any such like bidentate ligand like En or anything, you need to define in the terms of bis. Like whenever you have En twice, you need to say as bis. If it is something like En thrice, I'm talking about bidentate ligands. En thrice, we need to say as tris. Like that, we need to name at respective di or tri whenever you have any bidentate ligands. And here the Cl stands for chlorido. And remember, this comes under anionic ligand, where you can define the terms of chlorido or chloro. And outside the bracket, the guy who is there, that is called simple compound. You need to define in terms of either IDE or ITE or ATE. Now Cl is there, we need to define in the terms of IDE. Okay. Now the next one, most important thing, oxidation number. You need to assign your oxidation number to the central metal atom. Who is the central metal atom here? Cr is the central metal atom. You need to assign for that. Like Cr stands for X, H2O stands for neutral. Since H2O is neutral, 0, and Cl stands for -1. And here the way you need to find the oxidation number is like how you done in your redox balancing, like redox reactions, you might be finding the oxidation number for the compound side. The same method only we are following. Like X plus 2 into 0 plus 2 into -1 is equal to -1. So whenever you have here this one, we should write this one as positive side. But whereas when you come to the case 2, it will be different. That we'll discuss later. Now here x plus 0 minus 1 is equal to 1. X is equal to, going to the other side, sorry, here it will be 2, right? Here 2, and to the going to the other side it becomes 2. 1 plus 2 is equal to 3, and you need to assign the naming as Roman number 3. So the way the oxidation number, we need to find it out in this is the pattern, and similarly we need to follow for case 2 also. That we'll discuss one by one. Now coming to the next one, writing the naming in pattern. The pattern will be there like in alphabetical order, and one pattern will be there. That pattern says LMOI. L stands for ligands in alphabetical order. So here also we have 2 here, so here also I am getting as di. So now we are writing in the alphabetical order saying as diaqua. I'm talking about the ligands. Ligands are H2 and Cl2. That's it. Diaqua, dichlorido, and then metal. Who is the metal here? Central metal atom is chromium. Central metal atom is chromium. And what is the oxidation number? Here the assigning oxidation number will be Roman number 3. Already you got here, right? The same thing only I'm writing here. And coming to the ionization sphere, that is called your outside the bracket. We already told you that we need to define with the chloride, right? So I'm giving as chloride. So this is the way you need to name for the case 1, this type of questions. Coming to the next one, the way we need to write for the other one says like here, K stands for potassium. Just whatever the name you can write on that. Don't use any di or by anything here, because inside bracket only we need to mention all the things, di, tetra, tri, everything. And coming to the here, the guy Fe stands for, Fe is in the, whenever a metal compound is present in anion position, we need to define with the Latin ATE. So for Cu means what we need to write down as cuprate, Ag, argentate, Au, aurate. Sometimes like nickel, chromium, we don't have any Latin names, so we can write down as generally as nickelate or chromiumate, like this we can write down. Here Fe stands for iron, right? So we can name it this one as ferrate. And here Cn stands for cyanido, and 6 stands for hexa. Okay, now this is the whole. Let us go with the oxidation number. Here you are assigning oxidation number to the central metal atom. Same thing like what we done in case 1, the same way we are doing here the case 2 also. In the way like we are going to assign for potassium, right? Sorry, for the iron. This is the central metal atom. So I'm keeping here this one as X. I'm keeping this one as X because I need to find it out for this one. Cn stands for -1. It's a unidentate ligand. So now here I'll write as X plus 6 into -1 is equal to, now here see here how many ions do you have? 2 ions we have. When it's go, this is the left hand side. When it's go to the right hand side, what will happen? It becomes as -2. This is the most important thing. What in the case 1 and case 2 you have to observe, this is the difference will be there. So you can write down as here X minus 6 is equal to -2. X is equal to -2 plus 6. So X is equal to 4. Roman number 4 you can write. In this way the oxidation number you can able to find it out. But while writing the naming, yes, naming for this one will be ILMO, because ionization sphere will be coming in initial stage. Like I stands for what now? It says for potassium. That is called your ionization sphere. Potassium. L stands for ligands. How many ligands? Only one ligand is there, and that too the same thing called as hexacyanido. We can write down. And coming to the metal atom is ferrate. and assigning the oxidation number. We need to assign the oxidation number, whatever it is there here, like Roman number 4. So this is the way we need to name for case 1 and case 2. And there's one more small example I'll give to find it out. Some compounds are there where we can, like this, it will be there. You can see here, NiCO4. Yeah, many of them are getting confused with CO. First of all, CO says what? It's not cobalt. Cobalt means something like it should be C. It should be C with small letter O. But here it's C and O is there, so it says carbonyl. Carbonyl. It's not cobalt. And many other doubts from the other students, like, sir, there is no bracket. What we need to do? Is this coordination sphere or what it is? They're not giving any bracket. Just keep it a bracket here and find it out as per your norms, like how we are going to find. Like it says tetra because 4 is there, and CO says carbonyl, tetracarbonyl, and what is this one called? Nickel. It's not nickelate, nickel. And what is the oxidation number here? Do you have anything on the simple compound? I think in Werner's theory I clearly explained that ions can be defined based on plus and minus. If there is no anion means, then immediately you can say that is having 0 ions. Here also the same thing, 0. That's it, 0 oxidation state. Just mention 0 ions. So in this pattern we need to do the questions. And I think, hope you understood about the IUPACs and follow this method to get. And the most important thing is the book back of NCERT questions are more important. And the reverse way, if you want to do, means you can do the reverse way also. Like for example, if I am giving a reverse way means, like I'll give an example called hexaamine cobalt Roman number 3 chloride, the reverse method. Like this is the question they will give. So what you're supposed to do, first you take it your major bracket. Who is the major bracket here? This is the major bracket, and cobalt is the central metal atom. Write down CO. After that, hexaamine, that is amine says NH3 and hexa stands for 6. And this is most important. Before that, this one is Cl. Okay. Now this is 0, right? This is 0 and this is your X value, and given is 3 coordination number. So what you're going to do, X plus 6 into 0. But here you have only 3 ions are there. Nothing is there. So what is supposed to do here? How many ions here? 1 means it will not match to the respective oxidation number. If it is 2 means it will not match. If it is 3, yes, of course it will match. X is equal to 3. So Cl3 you need to write down. In this way, you can able to do the reverse method of the reaction. So this is all about your IUPAC nomenclature, and hope you understood the class. Thank you. Thank you, and please subscribe my channel.